Hey up everybody, how are we? How are we doing? It's a lovely, beautiful morning here, wherever you are. I hope you're having a lovely either Saturday night out on the town. You probably, if you're watching this on and it's Saturday evening, having a beer or enjoying a night at home. It's a lovely, beautiful morning here. And I can hear myself. Good start. Saturday night out on the town. I apologize. For some reason, I can hear myself. Enjoying a night at home. Aha, there we go. I found a rogue window of the stream open. That's why I could hear myself. I do apologize. This is a brand new setup for me, and I've kind of turned the spare room behind me here into a little bit of a makeshift studio, a little makeshift gaming room, a place for me to edit and just to hang out. And I'll talk about lots of cool things in this live stream. If you're watching the repeat, good morning, welcome. And if you check out the description, you'll see the show notes. And I'll be talking about all of those things today in the stream. And I'm going to try my best to go in this morning and add in chapters so you can scrub through, if you're watching the repeat, to specific questions or to any specific topic that we talk about. Firstly, I just want to say good morning to everybody in the chat. Dan Bangkok. Oh no, that was last night. He left that message. He says, I don't know if I'll be up in the morning. Thomas in Thailand, good morning. Beverly, welcome. John, thank you so much for the super thanks, or the super sticker. That's very kind of you. Thank you. Great way to start my day. Cafe Amazon Americanos on you. You having a little cheeky drink, are you, Thomas, in Thailand? Thank you to the Wanderlust traveling couple. Is that the traveling couple? Is that, the end of your name has been cut off there. Thank you. That's very generous. Thanks for being you. You guys start my positivity on a Sunday morning. And it's a Sunday afternoon for you, so I'm guessing you're in Australia or somewhere like that. And if you are here in the live chat, hello Dion, hello Onana from the Philippines, and Spoke Robert in the chat. And I see some questions coming in already, so let me just quickly tell you about the vibe for today. Hello everyone. We've got 80 people in the chat. Hello. I just thought I would catch up with you guys. It's been a long time since we did a live stream. It's been a long time since I've been able to just candidly have a chat, answer some questions, and give you some updates. Because this year's been a bit mental, actually. I've been on the road so much, and it's been amazing. It's been crazy. There's been ups and been some downs, so we'll share some stuff like that today. And then I've got 2 or 3 announcements. One's very exciting, and that's obviously in the title, about my second channel. And I can see Dion said, there's so many Thailand YouTubers putting up second channels. Do I still qualify as a Thailand YouTube channel? I don't think so. I think I began here, and then I did the 77 provinces on Dreamy, and I uploaded content in Thailand sporadically in between different trips. But it's been almost a year since I posted a piece of content from Thailand. If you look at the channel, in January, we were in Cambodia, and then we went to Chiang Mai in January. And then in February, March, we were in the Philippines. And then we went to Korea, Singapore. Then we went over to Europe. We did Switzerland. We did Italy. Then we came back and went to Bali. Then where did we go? I think the next trip was Borneo, and that series just finished. And I've recently just got back from Sri Lanka, and that series starts next weekend. So that's I suppose we could start here before I start answering some questions. The first thing to let you know is, if you check the description of this video in the live stream, if you're looking in the show notes, you'll see that I've decided to give everybody who watches this live stream a little experience of being a Patreon or being a channel member, in the sense that you get all the videos early. So episode 1 of Sri Lanka, which is due out next Saturday, is already uploaded, and the channel members and my Patreons have already watched. Some of them have already watched it and left comments, and they've really enjoyed it. It's definitely my favorite adventure this year, in terms of just the unique aspect of it, which you'll find out when you click on it. So if you'd like to watch episode 1 of Sri Lanka early, basically a week early, then check it out. The link to the unlisted video is in the description. And I just thought I would give everybody here who's woken up on a Sunday morning or is watching the repeat, because I don't know how long I'll keep this up, everybody will be able to enjoy the first episode just free of charge. You don't need to join my Patreon. You don't need to join the membership. Of course, if you do, then that's great. It helps the channel out. But you know what? You can go and check it out now. Not right now. Chill out. Enjoy the live stream. And if you've got some free time, the episode is about 30 minutes. And I go to Sri Lanka, and episode 1 is fantastic. It's not your typical travel series. There's a very unique element to it, and something I'm very proud to have been invited to do. So check it out. And yeah, that was the first announcement or fun thing. John says, question, where are you at this moment? And when is the South American journey beginning? Thanks, John. Hope you're well. Thank you again for the super thanks. So, yeah, I fly to Santiago, Chile on October 31st. So, yeah, that's Halloween. I'm just going to turn the music up a little bit. Just a tad. And I'm really not looking forward to that flight. I have to go to Korea and then change and go to New York and then change and go to Santiago. 3 flights back to back. And they're not short flights. So I'm going to be slightly dead. I have a huge Google document. For the first time, I've really planned out my trip because I'm going to be in South America for the entire month of November. And going all that way, I really wanted to make sure that everything was planned as well as possible. If you don't know, after the Sri Lankan series is coming out, I'm hoping that the first few videos of South America will be ready. And I'm flying to Chile, where I'll have about 5 nights, mainly getting over jet lag, and I'll explore Santiago, Chile. If you have any recommendations, by the way, if you're watching the repeat, please leave a comment in the comment section. I'm looking at Santiago on Google Maps, and it seems like a really interesting city with lots of mountains, and you know, it's Chile. I've never been to South America, so I'm sure that's going to be fun. Then I'm going to head over to northern Argentina to check out the Iguazu waterfalls. Then I'm going to head down to Santiago. No, I'm not. I'm going to head down to Buenos Aires for a few nights. And then I head down to Antarctica. I'm boarding a cruise ship and going on a tour for, I think it's a 10-day tour to Antarctica. And we get to sleep on the ice and sleep in a sleeping bag and go on some like boat trips and look for whales and penguins and things like that. So that's going to be a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. And then after that, I fly back up to southern Argentina to visit Patagonia and do some hiking. And then I fly back to Asia in time for Christmas. And I might nip to the UK early next year just to see my sister and a few people. And then next year, I don't really have many plans, but I'm thinking about dusting off the old Thailand again. I don't know, maybe it would be cool to get back on the road a little bit. I'm really inspired at the moment by a few YouTubers who are in Thailand, and they're reigniting my love for this beautiful country, Thailand. I've seen every province, so I feel like I've done it. But there's just so much to the country, and I miss exploring it. And maybe it would be a good time, Q1 next year, or maybe Q2, to do a little series in Thailand again. So thanks for your question. Maggie says, do you have any plans to travel to the British Isles? I've been back a couple of times since I've started this channel, but I don't have any plans to film it. If I did, I would like to do some kind of challenge. You know, John O'Groats to Land's End or something like that, but in an interesting way. But yeah, nothing too pressing. I see a lot of people in the chat here. So nice to see everyone. I'm just going to scroll down, say hello to a few people. The retired cobbler. Hello. Christian Eno. Hey, Paddy. Hello. Hello, Eno fam. I'm sorry I'm going to miss you when you're here. It's pretty upsetting that I'm going to be away when you fly over. Flora and Note. Hey, Flora and Note. Good morning. I've got to say, when I was having my morning coffee, I was watching you have that delicious Wagyu in Tokyo, and I was like, you could just tell it was so good because you guys couldn't even speak. And then that sushi in the morning, that looked incredible. Japan is hugely on my radar. You know, the annoying thing about watching Flora and Note is every time I watch one of their videos, I think to myself, I just want to go to that exact same place and make that exact same video. Because you just make everything look so nice, and you make everything, all the food you eat seems so delicious. And you're always in a good mood. And I love it. And I love you. And I miss you. I hope you're well. And I hope you had a good time in Canada. Austrian Goku, I would love you when you give me ideas to my YouTube videos. Okay, well, I'm glad. Just like Flora and Note give me ideas. My idea is copy them. Just kidding. Oh, is the volume low? Okay. Well, my microphone is as loud as it can go, and it doesn't seem to be clipping. Maybe it's the music. Let me turn the music up a little bit. I just don't want it to, I don't want it to be too distracting for you. Anyway. Oh, Dennis, that's a good question because I saw it in the chat of the comment section. Why didn't you join Carl Watson in Borneo? Well, Carl's trip to Borneo was a long time ago, and he typically goes on a trip, and then he comes home and edits the series 2 to 3, sometimes 4 or 5 months after the fact, because he's a full-time job back home. He travels a lot, and normally he's about 2 or 3 trips behind. So when he was doing his Borneo trip, I wasn't interested in going to Borneo at that time. Later during the year, when I got back from Europe, I realized that I missed Southeast Asia and that I wanted to get back in. And I looked on the map for nearby places that I hadn't been to, and Borneo stood out. I had a choice between going to Sumatra or to Borneo, and I did think about doing 2 weeks in Borneo and 2 weeks in Sumatra, which in retrospect, or in hindsight I should say, I wish I'd done, because 3 weeks in Borneo was way too long. I should have just had a very concise itinerary and squeezed everything in to a 10-day trip. But, you know, you live and you learn. I think one of the things I've learned this year is I enjoy traveling in short, concise segments in comparison to at the beginning or earlier in my life when I just like one-way tickets, you know, 3 months in Mexico or something. But that's just not really that feasible for me right now. Where I'm at in my life right now is I'm very happy and content with the balance between going on an adventure and making YouTube videos and coming back to base. Coming back to base is just as important for me now as being on the road. When I first started this YouTube channel, I didn't have any life. I didn't have a social life. I was just on the bike every day, driving province to province. I didn't have a girlfriend. I didn't really have any friends. I just had a YouTube channel and a camera. And I just went into that mode. But now, fast forward 2.5 years, I have friends. I have a gym membership, and an apartment that I pay for a monthly rent. Outgoings, bills, a girlfriend, and hobbies, and you know, friends that I like to catch up with. So it's a really good position to be in at the moment, and I'm trying to find that balance. This year was all about, my goal this year was to grow as a person, as a traveler, as a filmmaker, and try new things. And I think we saw some new things this year, especially the singing in the Philippines. That was fun. And so yeah, I just thought to myself, you know what, let's grow. This year was all about growth. Next year, I think it's about fine-tuning that balance, because I'm still a little bit too much travel, burnout, too long at home, itchy feet. I need to find that perfect balance that keeps me happy and the people around me happy. Thomas in Thailand, turn up the sound, mate. Cannot hear you. Oh, that's a shame. Let me just scroll down. I mean, okay, the sound is better. Beverly says, I love that keyboard. Thank you. It's very cute, isn't it? Look. Very cute. And a matching mouse. It's because I bought like a green monitor. Like a pastel green Samsung monitor. Thanks for the $2 tip to tell me to turn my mic up there. I appreciate that. But this is a process. I'm going to get better at live streaming. Because here's the next announcement. Good segue. I've started a second YouTube channel. And it came about because I got burnt out. Especially in Borneo. Some of you may have seen me have a little rant on Instagram Live one day. And it was born out of, I feel like, in Borneo, I realized for the very first time that I was traveling for the channel and that I was creating content because it's my job. You know what I mean? Like, it was the first time that it didn't feel organic. And I felt like, oh, maybe YouTube isn't as fun as it used to be. Because it never felt like work. It never felt like I was at work. Driving a motorcycle and creating YouTube videos, eating food, experiencing new countries, being creative and strange, flying the drone, having fun, expressing myself, that was never work. But for some reason, maybe it's just traveling too much, traveling to too many countries or whatever, I just didn't enjoy myself as much as I should be doing. And that stressed me out. Because when you chase your dream and you leave your career as a teacher and you start YouTube and everything, I really thought, well, this is me. I'm going to be the happiest I've ever been forever. And it did. 2 years, I was perfect. But then I just had a bit of a dip this year. And I decided to counter that by chasing new creative challenges and making some changes to my personal life. And I thought that maybe starting a second channel based around live streaming would be good for me. It'd be a new challenge to learn how to create a setup and improve the audio. Because there's obviously a few of you are complaining about it not being loud enough. Even though everything is as loud as it can possibly be. So I'm gonna have to learn how to be able to read chat and also have a concise conversation with you. Anyway, I decided, well, what do I like? What's a hobby of mine that I can just turn into a YouTube channel? So it won't feel like work or anything, and it'll be another place to just relax and enjoy myself and invite people to come and chill out. So I decided to create this second YouTube channel. So I'm going to share with you the channel now. It is in the description, but I'll actually show you the page itself. Hang on a second. I'm just getting, oh, I can hear the notification of people subscribing to the channel over at the thing. All right, here we go. So here it is. Let me just move my big fat head. Actually, no, that's fine. I'll just move me over here. There we go. So this is my second channel. It's in the description. It's called Paddy's Live Lounge. And that name might change. Everything might change. But as you can see on the banner, it says Paddy's Live Lounge. When I'm not having next level adventures, I'm live here. And I have 52 subscribers. Yay! And that's because I was sharing this with my Patreons and my channel members a couple of weeks ago. And on the homepage, you can see that I've scheduled a live stream for 10:30 this morning, which is in just under an hour's time. So my plan for today, guys, is to just continue to have a chat with you around Paddy Doyle and then move the live stream over there to the second channel, just to invite a few other people to come over and hang out and subscribe and just give an awareness of the channel. And the channel would be very much just a relaxing place where we could hang out, have a chat, and discuss topics, whether they're, you know, relaxed topics. We're not getting deep on this channel. Nothing political, nothing controversial, just, you know, talking about travel, talking about life. And as you can see by the icons on the banner, I do plan to game. I have a PlayStation, I have a PS5, and I have a gaming PC. And one of the ways I like to relax, one of the ways I like to unwind when I'm at base is to chill and game. And I can spend hours and hours just gaming. And I watch other YouTubers, and I watch Twitch sometimes, and I enjoy watching gaming content. I know it's not for everybody, so that's why it's a completely second channel. So if you're interested in hanging out from time to time, I'm thinking about doing 3 live streams a week when I'm not traveling. I'm also thinking about live streaming when I'm traveling, also on this channel. For example, if I'm in Santiago, Chile, and it's a lovely sunset and I fancy going for a walk and a live stream, I might be able to just whack out my phone and go live here. I still want to keep the Paddy Doyle channel a place where I'll live stream very time to time, something like this, like a catch up. But if you want more candid, relaxed live streams on the road, then I invite you to subscribe. Also, if you just want to be like, oh, what's Paddy up to? I'll be live here more often than not, I would imagine. Because I just like to bring that sense of community back, because it's been a while. So the live stream channel link is in the description, or you can just type into Google Paddy's Live Lounge. It's now live, and I'll be going live there later today. So yeah, that was the first or the second piece of news. I started a second channel. Wow, very exciting. Let me bring up the chat. See a lot of people here. Just going to scroll down. I hope I haven't missed too many questions. Maggie says, I like this idea. You can share more about your experience working as a teacher, cultural differences. Yeah, I feel like, oh, you're the 73rd subscriber, Alaska John. Thank you. You heard OnlyFans is a fun job. Maybe. I heard it is quite an interesting crowd. So yeah, it's definitely. I know Thomas Thailand has been messaging me a lot about this channel. He's trying to figure out what's the big vision. To be honest, there is no big vision. There is no big strategy. There is no big idea. It's not like I'm gonna burst onto the living stream with this incredible new idea or concept. Thank you, Tread the Globe. Thank you. I appreciate that. I hope to see you soon. I just wanted to just start a second channel because why not? Why not? And maybe you can get to see a different side to me, because live streaming, there's no editing. Everything that you see is extremely edited. And so you'll be able to see a little bit more of the real one. Yeah, you look worn out in Borneo. I was a little bit worn out. You're right. Trying to see. Oh yeah, tread the globe. If you need to rack my brains, please do. The best way to do that would be to send me a message on Instagram and I can just give you voice messages back. Or, because I know you're coming to Thailand, if you get here before Halloween, we can hang out. Otherwise, I probably won't be back until December. Well, I won't be. I don't play War of Warcraft, but maybe I could get into it. Yeah. So Millie, she's on maternity leave and now she's watching travel videos and it's giving her itchy feet. Yeah, I think balance is really important. Yeah, Beverly says there's no need for a big vision anymore. I mean, there is and there isn't. I'm not starting this second channel to change my life direction and put everything into this channel. Nowhere near. This is so chill. This is like, you know, no big deal. That little notification you can see, that's someone subscribing to the second channel. So thank you. The second channel is just somewhere where I don't have to think, you know, and I don't have to spend lots of time, energy, and stress planning and filming and money to create. You know, it costs thousands of dollars to produce a series. Flights, accommodations, activities. You know, that video that I uploaded on Friday evening, so yesterday, I uploaded the final episode of Borneo. That mountain hike with the company that I used cost around $750 just for the permit to hike on that mountain. Now you can do it a little bit cheaper if you don't opt for the Via Ferrata option, which is the expensive activity at the summit, which I didn't even get to do because I didn't make it in time. So sometimes it costs upwards of $1,000 to create one video, or $2,000 or $3,000 to create a series. So I just thought to myself, I need a channel where I can just relax, turn on the camera. And I thought live streaming was a really interesting way to do it, because I don't want to have to sit down and edit this. I don't want to have to sit down and think. Just wake up and be like, right, what should we talk about today? What game should we play later? And people just can come in and come out. If I stream to 2 people, I'll be happy, honestly. It's not a big deal. There's no big picture. There's no big grand plan. I have big plans and I have big strategies in place for next level adventures and Paddy's channel, this channel. But over there, I just want to chill. I just want to relax. So if that sounds like fun to you, then head over. And if it's not, then no worries. No problemo. So, any advice for the Giang loop? Give yourself a couple of days at the beginning and at the end to be in Hanoi. You need a couple of days in Hanoi. Land, get your bearings, explore. Hanoi is an attack on the senses, so you might need at least 2 nights to adjust. It really was like landing on another planet. Even though I lived in Thailand for so long, when I landed in Hanoi, I was like, wow, this is intense. This is the sparks flying and hitting your ankles. There's chickens and there's animals and there's noise and food and motorbikes everywhere on the street. And it was a real attack on the senses. You'll need a couple of days as well to organize a motorcycle, whether you're going to rent or whether you're going to buy. And then you need to make your way up to Giang and begin the loop. And you need to give yourself 4 nights, at least 4 nights. If you take it really slow, sometimes you can just go around and around for a week. And then the other thing I would look at is avoid going in the rainy months. I'm not off the top of my head sure what time of year that is, but it can get very, very wet, and that will just make your trip miserable. My friends, One Pack Wanderers, were doing the Giang loop recently, and they had terrible weather, and it was a little bit. It soured their trip a little bit. And just go slow. Go slow. You don't want to have an accident. How's Dreamy? Is she dating any new bikes? No, Dreamy's in storage at the moment at my friend's warehouse. He's just kind of left her in the corner, and she's just collecting dust until I make a plan for her. I am thinking about getting the engine restored fully and getting her back on the road, but that's a project for next year, I think. I would love to get Dreamy back on the road. And I was talking to Keys One, the YouTube channel Keys One, aka Adam. Adam's a good friend of mine. He's bought a small bike and he's renovating it, and he really wants us to go out together and film some stuff. And I said, yeah, let me just get this year out the way and get Dreamy maybe dusted up and fixed up, and I'll take Zelda out or I'll take Dreamy out on a little series, either with him or including him a little bit. I don't know what he wants to do. I'm very relaxed about the whole thing. It sounds like fun. Yeah, One Pack Wanderers, yeah, they had an accident. Driving back to Hanoi, he had a little, someone pulled up in front of him like they do, and he didn't slow down in time. And he cut his arm quite badly. But they're doing okay now. They're in New Zealand, and I'm really jealous. Hey, Radek. That's a great question. Thank you, because this is actually another thing that I wanted to point you in the direction of. And again, it's in the description. He says, how are your masterclasses on making travel videos doing? Any more tutorials in the loop? I made a couple of videos earlier this year about, giving you advice on filmmaking if you're interested in travel vlogs. And I made a video called How to Vlog in Public. And then I did another video where I reacted to my old content. And those videos didn't do very well, bless them, in comparison anyway. Because, it's a very niche topic and not of broad interest to everyone. But if you're listening to this on repeat or you're here in the live chat and you'd like to learn from me, I have a course, a video. You can call it a masterclass, but it's more of a relaxed sit down, and we go out onto the field and practice the things that I talk about in real life. And I just teach how to edit, how to film, and how to upload YouTube videos to YouTube. And there's a podcast on there with another YouTuber, Gary, and I think it's around 7 hours, if I remember rightly. And there's a discount as well. If you use the link in the description, you can go check it out. It's on my website. Again, if it's something that you're interested in, there's everything that I've done, everything I've learned condensed into these hours and hours of footage. And I do have, I've been meaning to do this. I just want to sit down and add a lesson about the iPhone, because I've always thought to myself, I would never film on a phone. But alas, I've discovered the incredible filming techniques and the ease of filming when traveling with an iPhone. There's so many pros and very few cons to filming on your iPhone. Even so, just the other day, a friend of mine reached out to me on Instagram, and he's a personal trainer in Australia, and he wants to start making content to promote his business, and he wants to start making social media content. And I just told him, dude, because he said to me, what camera should I buy? And he was sending me like, should I get this Sony? Should I get this big camera? And I said, no. You just need, do you have an iPhone? And he had an iPhone 13 Pro or something. And I said, that's fine. That's all you need. You can get extra mics these days, and they're great. For this Switzerland series, I took my big Sony and I took my iPhone, and I thought I would use my iPhone if my Sony ran out of battery. I think on the third or fourth hike, I had my Sony on the tripod filming the Lauterbrunnen Valley, and it looked incredible. And then I got my iPhone out to do an Instagram story, and I looked at my iPhone screen and what it was capturing, and I looked at my Sony and what it was capturing, and it was night and day. The iPhone just looked incredible. In fact, if you remember, there was this one shot where I walked in between two bushes. There was like a bush to the left, a bush to the right, and I walked down a little staircase and revealed the Lauterbrunnen Valley and all of its wonder. Well, that shot was on the iPhone, and that shot made me put the Sony back in my backpack and stuff it away. And I just used my iPhone. I've got the 14 Pro, the 14 Pro Max, and I used that the entire trip and the entire Dolomites. And I still used it a lot in Borneo and in Sri Lanka. And I do talk about gear quite at length, actually, in the course. So if that's something you're interested in, check out the links in the description. And yes, I will be uploading a lesson on the iPhone, because it's really changed my perspective of what do we actually need. Of course, the more expensive camera you get, the more expensive lens you get, of course you get the most incredible looking images. My friends Will and Jose just got the new Sony Alpha 3 whatever, right? Big expensive thing, hugely expensive. And they just did this Instagram reel of their camping trip in the US, and it just looked outrageous. So if you really want to go down that route, then of course, yeah, get a big expensive camera. But there's so many cons to it in terms of the practical use of it day to day. People stop you. No, you can't film with that. Take off the mic. Do you have a permit? Blah. You know, you just start getting all these attention from people. Whereas if you're just whipping out your phone, and you can argue that the phone quality is just as good in certain situations. So yeah, I'm leaning more towards just telling people to get an iPhone these days, to be honest. And the last thing I'll talk about before we just have a little chat for the last part of the live stream is the other announcement that I wanted to talk about, which again is in the description of this video, is my tour. Let me just get this up, because a lot of people don't know, because I only actually briefly mentioned it, and this is not for everybody. This is a very specific crowd of people who are interested in going to Switzerland next summer. Here it is. I'm just getting it up 1 second. All right, here we go. So next summer, the exact date is July 28th until August 2nd. So if you remember, when I went to Switzerland, I went in late May, early June, and there was still quite a little bit of snow and ice, and a few of the hikes were not passable. And then we had a little bit of rain. So I thought it would be better to push it back to the end of July. So all of the glaciers and big snow-capped mountains would have long gone melted by then. But still snow-capped, because, you know, the snow doesn't melt all year. I mean, there's still snow all year round at the highest points. But for this trip, it's more of a relaxed trip. There is hiking involved, and we can go through the itinerary. But basically, if you didn't know, this is available to book. There is a $150 discount on the price at the moment for any people who book early, and there's an additional $50 off. So it's going to be $200 off. If you head over to my Instagram, on my homepage, there is a highlighted story about Switzerland. You'll see the flag of Switzerland. Tap on that, and the most recent story includes the information about the extra discount. So it's $200 off at the moment. And the link to this itinerary is in the description, the first line of the description, and you can come over here and you can see the exact plan. Each day we have different activities. you arrive in Zurich. We go for dinner in Zurich and we stay in a nice hotel. After dinner, we'll go for a walk along the river and go for cocktails. And the following day, we head over on the train to Interlaken and we do some hiking. And then in the afternoon, or in the evening, we go for a Q&A down the pub so we can have a nice hangout. And then, I won't go through it, but we go to Lauterbrunnen Valley. We go to a beautiful waterfall that I didn't get to visit last time. I do a social media masterclass where I sit down with you one-on-one, if that's something that you want to learn, and we'll do some social media training, and you get access to whatever you want to ask me and show me, and, we can get really in depth. Then we go up to Jungfrau Joch, the highest train station, do the hike up there, and then we hike all the way back down to Grindelwald, and then we go back to Zurich via some kayaking on Lake Breens. If you've been watching, if you watch the Sri Lanka, if you watch the Switzerland series, and you thought I'd love to go, then this is your opportunity to come to Switzerland with me and a group of people. And so, yes, I'm going. A lot of people have asked me if I was going or not. I'm going. I'll be there. Miss P might be coming. I don't know. She's got a new job. She's got a very exciting new job. So she's not sure if she's going to be able to come on that. So we'll see. So that is an exciting trip for anyone interested in, not only hiking in Switzerland, but also hanging out and learning a little bit about YouTube and whatever, social media training. And just, getting out in the great outdoors, fresh air, the convenience of the trains and getting around Switzerland, and nice hotels, very nice trip. And yeah, it's not for everyone, obviously. It's a bit, it's not a budget travel destination, but we'll see. It's there for anyone who's interested. So thanks. Thanks, Alex. Number 1, I will heart that very kind super chat sticker thing. Thank you very much. So yeah, I think that was all of the announcements for this stream. I wanted to let you know about the second channel, about the tour to Switzerland, about the course that's available, and there was another thing that I've forgotten about. Typical me. Let me just check the YouTube description, because in my YouTube description I have notes. Oh yeah, about the Sri Lankan episode. You can watch episode 1 of the Sri Lankan series right now, just like the channel members can, just like my Patreons can, by looking in the description. So Beverly, you're not a fan of the Apple products. That's fine. Never mind. I know some people, even Americans, are like anti-Apple. And I'll be honest with you, when you have an iPhone and a MacBook, it really is a good ecosystem, but they're very expensive, to be honest. Alec, I don't watch Harry Potter, so I don't get that reference, but thanks. Yeah, TB Butcher, that would be a great trip. Lena would know her stuff, wouldn't she? Let me see if there's any more questions. Oh, I like that idea. TB says commentary on old series of the Budgeteers. I could do that on the second channel as a little segment, because I do want to do like features on the live streaming channel. I don't just want to go live and then go straight to gaming. I would like to have a topic of conversation or a feature and get people in the chat to contribute. Well, that second channel really is going to be interesting to see how that it might just be a complete disaster and no one cares. Michael has a question. You won't fart in the cabin in our room on the ship, right? If you don't know, Michael, who came to Thailand with me and helped me finish the series and drive from Bangkok to Phuket to finish and have a big party when we finish the series in Thailand. Michael came with us, and he's not only a Patreon but a great friend now, and we're going to be sharing a cabin on the trip to Antarctica because Michael very generously got my ticket for me. He didn't have any friends who wanted to go with him, and he invited me, and I said, well, how could I not? So I'm really looking forward to that trip. Limdog 5000 says, is being a YouTuber unsustainable? A lot of channels seem so burnt out, like Kara and Nate kinging it. Do you stress about the income if you wanted to take a break? That's a good question. I'm still quite early days. Kara and Nate have been going for, I don't know how long they've been going for, maybe 9 years, maybe 8. And Kinging It have been going like 10 years, right? Unsustainable. It's like anything, to be honest. It's like anything. It's like, at the beginning, you start a new job and you love it. And then over time, even your dream job becomes your job, you know. Over time, things start to wear off. So for sure, like when I was in Borneo and I was sharing with you my my experience there. Eventually things don't become as special anymore. I mean, if you look at Kara and Nate, I don't know how they do it. They're always doing something incredible, you know. And that's because they've been so successful over the years that they can afford higher budgets for their production. So going over to Tonga to swim with humpback whales, and then going to Fiji, and then cycling across the US. And it seems like they're never not doing something crazy. And there's a lot of pressure on YouTubers at the moment. It feels like you have to do something really epic, and you have to be doing something really wild and crazy, just so that your YouTube title and your thumbnail can be as flabbergasted and unbelievable as possible. So there is that sense of pressure. Sorry, I'm just making sure everything's fine with the stream. It looks pretty blurry to me. I'm gonna have to dial these settings in. I mean, everyone's different. I suppose for me, burnout happened recently, and I didn't know what burnout was. I thought it was just something lazy people say. You know, oh, I'm burnt out. Are you? Because I've never experienced it before, but it's a genuine thing. Like, I genuinely was burnt out. I googled the symptoms of burnout, and I started laughing. I was like, yep, that's exactly how I feel. I was procrastinating, I wasn't sleeping, I had headaches, I wasn't happy, I was on the edge of depression, I suppose. And there I was, sat in Borneo. You know, a beautiful destination people dream of going to, and there I am on location filming for my YouTube channel, my dream, and I was miserable. And so I think I did try to isolate the issues, and I figured out a lot of things, which was good. I spoke to a lot of my friends and other YouTubers for advice, and I got a lot of practical advice. I think the main thing is to realize and isolate that it is a job, and that this is your 9 to 5, if you want to call it that. And when I realized that, I was like, oh, okay, that's fine. So I just wanted to, as a way of avoiding burnout, and this might sound strange, but to start a second channel away from the stress sometimes that I put on myself of production and finance. And I suppose one of the ways I get around the stress of like finance or whatever is by working with brands. I do a lot of sponsored content, and I know it rubs some people up the wrong way, and I know some people love it because they're like, yeah, good for you, Paddy. But the brands that approach me, I work with because it's sustainable work, or income, really. Because you know this brand wants to sign a 3-month contract, a 6-month contract, whatever it might be. And you're like, okay, that's guaranteed income. Because as you can see, when you go to my YouTube channel, for example, my latest video didn't do very well. And it might pick up and it might not. Some videos pop and you get hundreds, thousands of views, and some videos flop. So just by working with a brand, you're guaranteed that you're going to be able to make a little bit of money. So yeah, I hope that answered your question. Matthew says, how often does the burning season start? In mid-January. It can start in January, sadly, Matthew. It's different every year. Also, burning season tends to start and then go away, and then start again and go away. But by the time you roll into March, it's fully in swing. March and April are just a no-go. Obviously, you've got Songkran in April. But it really is unbearable, the smoky season. But it's not the way that I would gauge it is if I could see the mountains from school. So my classroom's on the 3rd level, and if you can see 360 views of the mountains, then you knew you had clean air and it was paradise. And then sometimes you would go to school and you couldn't see the mountains at all, just smoke. And that could happen in November, believe it or not, and disappear for a week and then not come back till January, and then it could come back in January for a week and then blow away. The farmers and the industry, not just in Chiang Mai, but in that entire region of Myanmar, Laos, China, northern Thailand, when they burn, it's typically after a rainy period, you know. So the long answer is, or the short answer is, from time to time. Keys 1, clean the dust off Dreamy and let's go for a ride. Yes, I can't do it this year because I've got 2 weeks before I leave, and then I'm away for a month, and when I get back, I'm going to be knackered. I'm going to be so tired when I get home. Thanks for coming, Christian, and have a lovely Sunday. Sir Chris says, I just think that Borneo may not be super high on the people. Yeah, that's true. In fact, I bumped into a person yesterday and he said, oh, Paddy, right? I watched all your Thailand videos. And I said, oh, thank you. And he said, what do you do now? Do you still make YouTube videos? And I said, yeah. Are you subscribed? And he said, yeah. Me and my wife loved your Thailand videos. And I thought to myself, well, that's a good example of how the YouTube algorithm can work sometimes. If you are into Thailand content and you watched me in Thailand, when I left and I started making content in other countries, you probably didn't watch the first few. And then the algorithm was like, okay, we're not going to recommend Paddy's videos to him anymore, because unless it's got Thailand in the content, if it's Thailand in the title, he just won't be interested, so we won't recommend it to you. So I do have lots of people who are subscribed who don't know that I still make YouTube videos, because they don't get the notifications, they don't see it on their recommended screen, they might not check their subscriber page very often. There are a million reasons why genuine subscribers don't get to see your videos, which is one of the stresses of YouTube. And that was a big decision I had to make this year, was do I go abroad, or do I just stay where it's the algorithm knows who I am and the audience knows what to expect? But in the end, I thought it was best to spread my wings. So we went to Vietnam, and then it all went downhill from there. Thank you, Shamal. I'm glad you enjoyed the Switzerland series. The Posty bike, yeah, Dreamy Zelda. Sorry, she's ready to go. I drive Zelda all the time, but she's a beautiful bike. I still love Zelda. But yeah, we'll definitely go on a trip together, buddy. For sure. Also, let's go for lunch. Thank you, Cambodia Nomad Tips. Would you ever write a book on your travels? Yeah, I've thought about it. The main issue is I'm not a very good writer. And I don't think my story is that interesting. I've been to some incredible places and I've done some incredible things, but all of it's on camera and all of it's on YouTube, either on the Budgeteers or this channel. Of course, a lot of things happen off camera and things don't make edits and dramas and personal things, but that's my personal life, right? I don't know if I would put stuff like that in a book. Maybe one day. I would much prefer to write a fiction about traveling. But I'm more interested in the video format. But yeah, never say never. Yes, Mark, the projects outside of Thailand are fun. Every project I've ever done, every series I've ever made, I've gone into it with a sense of excitement. I don't go anywhere or do anything that doesn't excite me, right? It was just Borneo when I got there. That was just the first time that I thought, oh, being here is not as epic as I thought it was going to be. And to be fair, there are lots of issues about Borneo that surprised me in terms of the environmental issues that they have with, sadly, trash, pollution, and deforestation. I don't feel like they take good care of their environment over there, which is really sad. And it was a big contribution to my burnout, was feeling let down and sad about the state of the environment, which I think was heightened because I was going to Borneo to expose myself to what I had been sold or thought to have been one of the paradises of Earth, and it really wasn't, sadly. If you remember in episode 1, I was supposed to drive around this huge loop of Sabah province, and I got about halfway, and I won't go into it in too much detail because I've talked about this to my channel members and stuff, but there was so many problems with pollution. Entire islands, paradise islands, covered in plastic trash. And I started researching on YouTube to get actual up-to-date information about other travelers who'd been. And fair play, there were some people who were just pointing the camera at the beautiful water and pretending like there was nothing wrong. And then there was other people that were clearly saying that, hey, look, there's turtles here, there's white sand beaches here, but there's also, and then they would turn the camera and show you mountains of trash washing up on the sand and floating in the sea. And then they were talking about the political issues, and there's lots of complicated social political issues in that country that contribute to them not being able to just clean the place up. And it was stressing me out enough driving from place to place, going on the river. You know, I mentioned at the end of the river tour, I did 3 days in the jungle, and I briefly mentioned it, but it was a big thing. Just plastic trash floating down the river from upstream in the middle of the jungle with elephants and orangutans, and it stressed me out. So you saw I mean, there's let's be honest, there's very few places where there's no trash, but it was really bad there. Key says, on your recent trips, which did you enjoy the most? And where you were the most happy on and off camera? I think the Dolomites in Italy. It's a very short series, only 4 videos. But I've never been more happy. Like, it is incredible. Just to be there. To open up your hotel window and just see the mountains, like, all around you. And, you know, being in Italy in the summer when the nights are long, you know, you sunset at 10 p.m. or 9:30 p.m. You've got a glass of Pinot Grigio and you're just watching the most incredible sunset at 9:30 in a piazza with some pasta, and you've got a big day's hike tomorrow and a big day's hike the day before, and it's just, yeah, the Dolomites was incredible. Also, just recently, as you'll see, when I was in Sri Lanka, I had a great little trip in Sri Lanka. Again, for anyone joining late, one of the first things I mentioned today was that I've linked below in the description of this live stream the unlisted video link for episode 1 of Sri Lanka that you can watch right now. I thought it would be fun to give you the experience of being a channel member and a Patreon, which means you get all the videos nice and early before they come out. That video won't come out publicly till next weekend, but you can enjoy it today. But yeah, Keys, I had so much fun in Sri Lanka, and I'll tell you all about it when we go for lunch. So yeah, I just thought I would jump on here for about an hour. So what I will do now is I'm going to brush my teeth, and then I'm going to go live again, but over on my second channel. Just to show you the channel one more time. This is where I'll be live in about 15 minutes. You can see it's scheduled for 10:30. I'll try to make it there on time. All I have to do is brush my teeth. Oh, I have 103 subscribers now. Thank you. And so maybe some of you can come and join. We'll just continue this conversation, and then I'm gonna probably do a little bit of gaming. I'm making a Chiang Mai themed zoo on my favorite game at the minute, called Planet Zoo. And I'm just gonna hang out there. I've got to build a giraffe enclosure, and I'll just have some music playing and we can just hang out there. So to everybody who's been here today live, it's a bit of a different time of day than normally. Normally I'm streaming in the evenings, but I just wanted to try something different, come on early. Thanks for everyone who turned up. Cheers, Keys. Cheers, Mark, Thomas, everyone. And if you have any more questions that I didn't answer, just come over to the live stream on Paddy's Live Lounge. Over here. Come over here, and I'll be there shortly. So yeah, thanks for hanging out, and I'll see you over at the Live Lounge